Hi there, welcome. It's another edition of Coffee with the Goose. Yes, I am the Goose. So glad you joined me again. Got some information today you may or may not know about the Philippines. But before we get going, let's have a little coffee. My Java, as you know, very strong. And my dog Cooper knows this too. My coffee is very strong, like my opinion. And of course, I got to have some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right, here we go. Some fascinating information about the Philippines for you this time around. As you probably know by now, I am married to a Filipina. Raquel has been my boss and my wife for, going on 21 years. Isn't that amazing? I've been over there many, many times. I've lost track of how many times. We were there back in December. We're building a retirement home there. I love the Philippines and specifically Cebu. So let's talk about the 10 most amazing, crazy things about the Philippines, shall we? Let's start with, this is information we've covered in the past, but just a reminder, Philippines known, among other things, for the nurses. 11 million Filipinos work overseas, and many of those are nurses, of course. 25% of the Filipinos who work overseas work in the medical field, and many of them, of course, are nurses, especially here in the United States, and men and women. And I've been helped, with my crazy medical history by Filipino nurses, so I'm greatly indebted to them and you who are watching the show. Do you know there are many, many languages spoken in the Philippines? Of course, Tagalog is the national language. Almost all Filipinos speak English. There's a lot of Spanish, of course, because the Spanish colonized, for lack of a better term, the nation for, goodness, over 300 years. But the native languages, there are anywhere, we've kind of lost track, there's so many, anywhere between 120 and 187 languages spoken in the Philippines, and I swear my wife Raquel knows all of them. Well, she knows a couple for three for sure. So, mind-boggling how intelligent Filipinos are. And of course, you've got Tagalog, which is the native language, Visayan, which is spoken in the central part of the Philippines, the Visayan Islands, and again, English and Spanish. The Philippines, great, fishing venue of the over 7,000 islands. But did you know the Philippines boasts the world's longest underground river? The Puerto Princesa subterranean river is more than 24 kilometers long. Now, how many miles would that be? I think that would be about 18 or so, 17 or 18 miles. 17 miles long underwater. That's crazy. It's the longest subterranean underground river in the world, in the Philippines. And not just the brilliant social skills that the Filipinos have, but they are also predominantly Catholic. I would say maybe 80% for sure, maybe 90%, with the exception of Mindanao, which is predominantly Muslim. Most Filipinos are Catholic. Of course, the Catholic faith introduced by the Spaniards. And a little other side note, the largest gathering for a religious service ever has been to the Philippines a couple of times with the Pope there. I believe like 5 million people, just crazy crowds. And we were there a couple of years ago. Of course, Raquel grew up with this, but for the first time I saw this a few years ago. We went there on Easter, and it's almost like a parade, a procession through each town, and we were in Argao. And it was amazing. The floats with the brilliant colors and all the plants and the flowers. It was absolutely gorgeous, and what an amazing spiritual experience that was. Also, the Philippines, where does the name come from? Now, I know President Duterte, former President Duterte, had talked about changing the name of the country to a more ethnic name that's suited for the culture, but that's probably not going to happen. The Philippines name of the country comes from Philip II, who was the king of Spain when the Spaniards colonized the islands back in the 16th century. And the Spaniards ruled the Philippines for 333 years. Who relieved, or I don't want to say relieved, took over, if that's not a bad, that's a bad phrase too, kicked the Spanish out, the Americans. And we kind of, I don't want to say colonized, but we ran the country for about like 40 years or something like that until after World War II. And then the Filipinos have been independent ever since. Now, the national bird of the Philippines, okay, this is kind of funny. We live in Minnesota in the United States. We joke that our state bird is the mosquito, right? You got plenty of them in the Philippines, I'm sure. The national bird for the United States, of course, is the bald eagle. And the Philippines, quite like the United States, has an eagle. It is the, I can't remember the exact name, but it's I've seen it. It's a big, badass looking bird, like all eagles are. Don't look him in the eye. It's frightening. The Philippine eagle has a shaggy crest with a brown and white plumage, and a beautiful, brilliant bird. And they eat monkeys. That's how tough Filipino eagles are. All right. And last but not least of the 10, did we do 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did we have more? We maybe, okay, let's go 7. Crazy facts about the Philippines. If you know Filipinos, okay, you got to do karaoke. You got to do it. That's just part of the game. If you go to a Filipino party, that's gonna the karaoke machine is gonna make its appearance sooner or later, and that's where half of the fun comes from. Where did the karaoke machine, or karaoke, or however you want to pronounce it, let's not get too technical here, okay? Where did it originate? Where was it the karaoke machine invented? The Philippines. Yes, the Philippines. 1975, Roberto del Rosario of the Philippines secured a patent with the first karaoke machine in the world. It was first called the sing-along system. Now, the word karaoke was actually a Japanese name. Okay, so that's where the name came from. But the machine itself comes from the Philippines. And the word karaoke, by the way, means singing with accompaniment. All right? And no, you don't have to be, an amazing Hall of Fame singer to sing karaoke. Just bring your heart and your good nature. I've done it a couple of times. Set your pride aside and have fun. And you're never going to compete with Filipinos with singing skills. You know, they're going to beat you at that too. So karaoke, not just the greatest game and source of fun and entertainment in the Philippines, it was invented there in 1975. So good for you. All right, that's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. And hopefully you enjoyed these facts. And I know you have many more, because there's many other amazing things about the Philippines. We plan to retire there here in about 4 years or so. Again, we're building a retirement home, and slowly but surely it's taking shape. And we look forward to spending our retirement years there, at least the winters. Okay, I'm sick of Minnesota winters. I'm getting too old for this. We'll come back here, I'm sure, for the summer. But Philippines is the second home for me, and it's not in my blood so much, but it's in my spirit, having married a Filipina, and of course our wonderful children with the blood. So it's an amazing, beautiful country, amazing, beautiful people, and I love the Philippines. So there you go. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thank you so much for watching again. Let me know what you think about these crazy, amazing facts about the Philippines. And if you have some more you want to add, feel free. I'd love to learn some more. I'd love to get your input here as we converse about the wonderful 7,000, God knows how many other islands in the Philippines. All right? That's it for Coffee with the Goose, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.